What to do when teenagers stop talking to you. So, flashback, you had your baby. It was a wonderful experience, or maybe a painful experience, but it was everything that you wanted. Perfect little child in your arms. You get to develop him and her. They're growing up, they're speaking, they're having fun. Just to hear their laughter makes your heart sing. And then they become teenagers. And you're like, what happened? Well, let's think of it this way. This is normal. When all of a sudden your teenagers just stop talking to you, it's normal and it's actually part of that developmental process. They're learning to take ownership. For years, you as the parent, you covered everything. You were their support system. You made sure they had shelter. All their basic needs were met and their emotional stability was met, and you were there. Now they're realizing, especially when they get to that 15, 16 age, that they have to take responsibility for themselves. Even though they still love stickers, but they still want to take responsibility for themselves. But how does that make you feel as a parent? You've been protecting them for so long. And then all of a sudden, there's a change. And like most humans, we don't like change. We don't like change at all. But then we have to adjust. And even if I talk about student athletes, like athletes have to make such a major transformation. Like you go from 1 minute that, oh, I'm doing this activity because it's fun and I get to talk to people, to I got to keep that fun alive, but now it's starting to be more competitive. And now it's starting to become more demanding. And I'm not sure if I really want to continue on this path. So instead of go ahead and just blah, 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 and let me tell you what's going on, they shut down because they're trying to internalize what is actually going on and how are they going to figure out the situation. And sometimes they want to figure things out for themselves before they come to you. As long as you say, I will still be there for you, whatever you decide, that's what a lot of teenagers want. Yeah, they might run off at the mouth a little bit, but for the most part, when you say to them, I'm here for you, whatever you decide, that's going to mean a lot. So when they ignore you, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. They're trying to figure it out for themselves. But they always like to open up to their friends and maybe some teachers. And you're like, well, why am I always the last resort? Because you're mom and you're dad. You've been the provider for this whole duration. And now it's time for me, the student athlete, to make this change, to make this decision. So when you're asking them, all right, what college you want to go to? You need to do this. You got to get this done. It's very overwhelming because the kids are already overwhelmed nowadays. They're worrying about their social media presence. They're worried about how they're going to brand themselves to make money. They're worried about keeping their grades up. They're worried about being good at whatever sport they're playing and just having a social life. Notice the social life and the social media are two separate things. So when they're at school, they're talking all the time. I know for me, once I turned 16, I was the same way. I ignored my parents for 2 months until finally my parents says, you better talk. Okay. But it was just a matter of, I just got tired of talking. And when I was talking, a lot of people weren't listening. So that I figured, what was the point of me talking if no one's not going to listen to me? So this is where I like to play a part into your life. I want to be that person that's going to listen. Not so much to tell you what to do and when to do it, because we got so many other people that's going to do that for us. It's just a matter of a person just to listen. We all have something great to say, but if we're not given the opportunity to speak on it, or not being given the opportunity for people to respect what we're going to say, that's why a lot of people just shut up. So let me be that person that can help you make those connections, but just to listen, just to hear you out, give you a little sounding board. So, if anything, something for your student athletes, something for you parents, because we're all making a transformation. Your kid is making a huge transformation, becoming from an athlete to a competitive athlete, and you're making the transformation of seeing your baby become a grown man or woman. I want to hear your story and I want to see how I can help. See you soon.